Everyone, I hope you are well and doing great. I apologize, first of all, for the late start over here. Time zones threw me off. And above all, it's like, oh my gosh, D Power is already like 2 in the morning when we go live. It's going to be like 2:30. I just got thrown off going live in the moment because I saw the mistake. And here we are, everyone. And I'm glad to be here with you all. Yes, this Thursday in the U.S. is Thanksgiving. It's celebrated, obviously, different Turkey Day up in Canada. But we have U.S. Thanksgiving this Thursday, and we'll have no stream on Thursday. Tomorrow and Wednesday and Friday, we'll have our normal times, and I'll make sure that since I am out of country, that I get the time zone and our normal start correct. So thanks for bearing with me. I was in San Miguel de Allende for a wedding of some really close friends. San Miguel, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful town in Mexico, and here we are. So, boom, 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 boom. What do we start off with? What I'm watching on Bitcoin. One over here just to show you. I went ahead and I cloned our black diamond underbelly. And I went ahead and I went down off of the last support, right? And resistance, I should say. So we peaked below here, and I had off these touches and these touches. And I said, if we break above, 88,150, that is the first entry since the wedge breakdown. Here we have this wedge that was developing. We had a wedge breakdown. I know now that, and listen, one of two things is going to happen from here. We have resistance above. You could see it very clearly on the chart. And whether or not price is going to get rejected in this pocket or make it above remains to be seen. Obviously, we've seen a significant repricing in the market. On Friday, Fed speakers came out very dovish. And, at this point, it was 80% probability. I see that was streaming low over here. Yeah. Should I try to make it? You guys in a rush, or do you guys want me to bear with me here? It's all good. Y'all stay with me, and I'll talk you through as I walk. I'm just gonna get us a better correction. I'm gonna go ahead and go out on the roof. We'll be live streaming from Mexico City rooftops in a moment. Right now, I just want to paint the picture of what's happening right now, and that was. On Friday, we had Federal Reserve speakers come out, and they went full dovish. Expectations that Powell had set for everyone that at the last meeting, which is when the Nasdaq started correcting, when Powell said, you know what, that it's not a assured thing that we're going to have a 25% basis point cut in December. That's up for discussion. It depends largely on what happened with the job market, and then the market started correcting. Bitcoin had already been in correction, but Nasdaq and risk started correcting pretty hard. And climbing some stairs as we do our stream. And now here we are on Monday, and the market has flipped. And it's gone now 20% probability that the Fed will be pausing, and 80% probability they're cutting in on December 10th. And risk here is bouncing on that news. Nasdaq obviously is having some lift. Let me just jump up to a chart. And we had this first technical breakdown on the Nasdaq occurring over here. This is where Powell says, last FOMC, maybe December's on the table. By the way, expectations is going to be then, if they do cut in December, more than likely, we'll see something like another cut in March, another cut in June. And then we'll have a whole new Fed board, and we'll see what they are and where the market is, obviously. So is this enough? Market here seems like a fiend that really wants its fix, and it looks like it's going to get it on the 10th. I mean, it's still up for debate. It's still, I should say, it's still up for grabs. We're not having the non-farm payroll until the week after the FOMC. So I don't know how much jobs data is going to be able to sway expectations or not. Is the market going to be able to go a few months without a cut? that's what we're going to have to find out. We're looking for that reacceleration, but we're not close to that reacceleration yet, right? We got months ahead. Anyway, beautiful rebound over here on the Nasdaq. We're right now where we closed for that first technical breakdown. We're coming above it. We got to break out and have a buy impulse above the yellow line in order to have the full repair in effect. Of course, today seems quite bullish for risk, and we see that. I'll jump back to Bitcoin. I want to focus on Bitcoin. One thing that we have been talking about as the Fed does stop QT and they begin their balance sheet expansion is not only watching at what pace that balance sheet expansion takes place, but we really want to see, and we believe that we're going to see tech lead. And if you go back to last cycle when the Fed stopped QT in 2019, it took a little bit of time for Bitcoin to find its footing. It reacted initially really well and then went ahead and took out that swing low and before finally finding its footing. I know some people were mentioning, could we just wick down further? Could we wick down towards 75,000? And 70,000 so I could get a nice fill. And I wonder, I from what I saw, a lot of people really went full on bearish. So obviously our expectations remain that the cycle high is going to come a lot closer to the 2028 halving than the 2024. And we all know the reason I set those expectations is because what happens in between, and we're in that in-between phase right here, right now, could get quite dicey. Nevertheless, remain and maintain our, let's say, Fed cycle projections. And here we are. Right now, we're just going to lean in and follow the technicals over here. Buy entry in place now. This is the first and earliest opportunity after the wedge breakdown. And it was a big and massive breakdown. It's kind of like a parabolic move to the downside, right? So what happens on a parabolic move to the upside? Usually you get that strong correction. Maybe it's into this area of resistance, right? If we get that lucky and go that high. There's still a lot right now, obviously markets bouncing and repricing. There is still a bunch of CTA sell pressure that is yet to be ignited, and it remains to be seen whether or not they are just unloading on the wrong side and then they're going to have to flip bullish and it's going to add a lot of CTA buying, or that's going to push the markets down over the next week or so, or I should say weeks. So we're not out of the woods whatsoever. This is just the first discretionary opportunity. And usually you see something like a big move down, and then everyone's like, well, the bears are like, and then you see the hope. Oh, everything's back to normal. We're going the way. Can you imagine coming back and testing this breakout that we have right now before ultimately springing out? If we get to a point where we break outside the upper end of the wedge, at that point, this becomes a wedge breakdown, which was a liquidity grab. And if we break out to the upside, this offers the potential here for being one of the best trades of the year. April, obviously, number one to date, out of the bottom when the President Trump was like, buy. This has the potential to be the second best or even the best. And that's depending on whether or not we have any follow through. It's depending on whether or not we break above. We have, Ace was pointing out PPI inflation data coming in. We also have obviously big Fed beige book on the 28th is something that I am keeping close eye on. As Powell said during that last FOMC meeting, that's going to be really the only gauge we have of how the economy's doing. So that's a big one. And then after that, we have some jobs data, but FOMC is the 15th or 16th, and the Fed meeting is the 10th. So these are really massively important factors as we move through the next few weeks. And just because the markets are bouncing here, we like that. That's great. And they're bouncing because what put on the pressure right over here when Powell was like, if Powell never said that, there was a good chance markets were breaking out, Bitcoin's breaking out to all-time highs. Powell did say that. He has since walked it back, and we'll see what type of follow-through we get. But this looks like a lot of people capitulated. A lot of people capitulated. By the way, as far as our positioning, we were able to say, oh, okay, we've been safe on the sidelines for since 113,000 on Bitcoin bull runs. We know as far as equities, after I was bearish, like discretionary bearish on the Nasdaq and tech throughout September and October. Nevertheless, we were taking buy side positions and we walked away not getting chopped up into drawdown, but with profit. And then there's a little, we took some big stop losses here since on the buy side on FNGU, full stop loss, a little slices of cuts on Nvidia and Tesla, and those trading both sides here on MicroStrategy. It looks like this will have definitely made up for that, plus a lot more. Currently holding open position 35% into profit. I don't know if this view before I get into Bitcoin and crypto is of any help, but on this laptop I am, this chart came up, and some resistance over here. I guess we have to look at. That's somewhere around 91,000, just to get an idea of where that's coming in on this chart, to see if it's coming in close to that underbelly or not. Not really. This is the pocket I'm worried about as far as resistance. We do have some short trades running still on Cardano here, currently 23% into profit, giving up a lot of those unrealized gains right now, but that's fine. We want to see a bounce, and I think most of you, like me, are rooting for risk, and Ethereum's still holding an open trade right now, 8% into profit as well. Let's jump back over here and see what we got. Let's take a look at what we got across some markets. And we have the dollar. Let's take a look at what the dollar's doing. I want to see what the dollar's doing. There's a lot of chatter going on. What's going on with MicroStrategy, and to be honest, I don't know. You never know what to believe. We'll give that some time to figure out exactly what all the hoopla is. All is that we know when to be in the market and when out, and on what side. And obviously, every single person, which is a lot, that have been invested in trading in MicroStrategy at this point, wishes that they were on the right side. And whether or not it was, if you're trading buy side only in 2025, MicroStrategy profitable, very, very nice. 2024 bombastic. If you're trading both the buy and sell side, obviously this is, cruising. This is the dollar over here, and dollar now with the expectations. Have we just topped into resistance? We got some strong horizontal resistance over here. It seems to be a ceiling. And if at any time we break above that, I expect that we see some follow through to the upside. One would think if the Fed's cutting, or I think if the Fed's cutting in December, that we might see a breakdown over here. And this looks like, in a downtrend that we currently are, a bearish continuation pattern for the DXY. If that yellow line does break, all these texts. I'm out, guys. You have to bear with me today, tomorrow, and Wednesday, and then on Friday I'll be back in the office. And until then, we're gonna deal with what we have and make sure that we are able to show up and make sure we put the work in and stay on the right side. It's a tough one, in the same way when positioned on the short side and seeing some strong follow through, you never want to kind of, gloat. Other people you have to imagine are really, really hurting. And I feel really bad. Yeah. I don't know if you guys could hear me. It says it's trying to resume right now. Yo, yo, yo. Whoa. The computer just crashed and like a lot of like foreign language Chinese, Korean came up and it's like this was like the worst error that we've ever seen. Computer restarted and now we're back and man, what like this is what was going on, y'all. So this is where we are. Yeah. So let me just kind of reiterate where we're looking at over here. Obviously, the Nasdaq is bouncing hard today, bounced back hard on Friday, and that's coming off a strong sell-off. So right now, it's nothing more than a bounce. It hasn't made a repair yet. We have that line on the Nasdaq, that yellow line we look at where that repair needs to be made in place. Bitcoin, a lot weaker here as it's just like searching for that liquidity. And do you think that a lot of 4-year cycle and influencers talking about 2026 recession, bear market has caused this? I don't really think so. I don't really think retail is too relevant right now. I think unfortunately that the risk is that they get left behind. In the same way that everyone who was flirting with the wrong altcoins missed the move up on Bitcoin 2023, 2024, and then really just felt left behind. Now there are other legends out there like Lindsay, she's been working extra jobs, riding in Uber, stacking sats, just became a whole coiner, who are not left behind because they have that belief and that grind. A lot of other people are looking at the CAGR of Bitcoin and they're like, why? Why invest here? But that same thing happened to a lot of gold bugs. Gold flatlining for 14 years in correction before ascending to the moon. So will that happen in Bitcoin? And people who are exiting now because of 4-year cycle 2026 recession with GDP at 4.2%, are they going to buy back higher or are they done? Like, are they not coming back into the market and they get left behind? That's the worry. That's the concern. Right now, obviously, we are in a deep correction. Obviously, we've seen massive breakdowns across the board. This is the first aggressive opportunity for an entry. And this only works out. Let me pull up the screen brush after the reset. Like, this was a wedge that broke down. And it looks like, I mean, I don't know that the low is in or not or anything like that. But it looks like that extended pretty far from 95 down to 80,000, close to 80,000. And this could be, though, this is just the earliest opportunity. This could be a liquidity grab if this pattern breaks out to the upside. If this pattern does break out to the upside, then likely, new all-time highs are ahead. Now, do I think that's happening in a Santa Claus rally in December? Likely not. Is that happening through the first quarter? That would be awesome. That would be awesome. And, could we get rejected, or where's the stop loss on this trade? And, you could start over here. Trying to do a trend line. Give me a little, y'all, just a little love. A little trend line. So just bear with me 1 second. And all week, or the next few days, I should say. So here's your stop loss, and or, it's probably, this is a lot smarter. Something like this coming up. This is a long wick down over here. It looks like capitulation to me. It looks like capitulation. And I think probably to a lot of you, it looks like capitulation, except don't get comfortable. Markets have a habit and a history of punching you in the face just when you get comfortable. There is a lot of real flow dynamics that are occurring ever since CTA triggers have since triggered, and that selling has not taken place. It's something like this week, $60 billion, and over the next month, another $60 billion. Well, no, I walk that back. It's something like $60 billion. I don't know if that's over the next week and or month, and it's in a down tape and or flat tape. So if we're gonna skate through that as best we get, we're gonna need a very aggressive up tape. But yeah, I feel like this is the time to lean in if you think that we just experienced capitulation. This is what we call an underbelly breakout, and the underbelly breakout is right here highlighted. Then we put in a black diamond, an aggressive one that never triggered. Then this is this. You see the test of support here, and then the resistance. That becomes the double black diamond. It's triggering right now. It is the lowest probability of success, but offers the highest risk to reward. It's triggering. It's just another trade. It's not the trade. We took a trade last week on IREN, right? Our IREN. And you know what? That trade didn't take off. That was right the day of NVIDIA's earnings. It stopped out before NVIDIA's earnings. And after the bell, NVIDIA put on that big rally, similar to what's happening Friday and today. Big rally, and that was smacked down really, really quick. So here we are. I was looking at that with you, Ace. And is this like a... So this is a conservative repair at the outer end of the wedge. Then you would have what I would say... I would say that is a black diamond. And then this one is so aggressive. I don't know. But is that in play? Are we into that resistance right now, or is it down there? It's quite discretionary, and I'm not sure, but I do believe that the underbelly is more appropriate in this case, in that case, and you all know why. This was back in 2022 in December, January 2023, we began the underbellies, right? And we called the bottom of the... And when we called the bottom of the Bitcoin bull market, everyone was like drawing lines on the chart saying that it was going to, But this is an underbelly breakout occurring right now. And here we are. We'll see what happens. It's beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So, guys, I appreciate you guys working under these circumstances that we have. And I don't even know why. Maybe I'll just try one thing different tomorrow. And that will be just having one window with multiple tabs open, and I'll keep jumping between them instead of having probably like 5 different windows with several open tabs on. Or I don't know, we'll figure it out either which way. Like, we're going to show up and make sure we get through the next couple of days. Our positioning is on autopilot. Our position is... Everyone on the buy side is just absolutely in zen. Those that are trading the short side, we got some positions. We'll see how much gain is given back. I want to look over at the Ethereum trade and the Cardano trade just to get an idea with y'all how far away. Jordan's right. That's why I need to be home. I need my 128. So still a little ways away, but comfortably in profit here on Ethereum. And then Cardano. Yeah. Cardano's actually getting close to locking in some of this love over here. And you can see the deviation just on a small upside pullback is really, that looks nice. Good position to be in over here. MicroStrategy, we've never been in this situation because we weren't trading it during the bear market of 2022. This is a banger that is being held. And listen, at the end of the day, I'm just happy to close with profit. Is there a bug on the chain? Michael's just flatlining, not doing anything over here. Powell, I want to know more about your thoughts on that, what you're talking about. Please tag me on the Discord. Let me know what you're seeing, what you're thinking. But for now, we'll be back at this at the normal time. I was a half hour late today. Dev accidentally broke it. You know, meme stocks, is Cardano a meme stock? Is there whatever? Like, the funny thing about these things, and we've said it before, like when liquidity comes in, they're going to like feel the rise. Do I think Cardano is going to trade above $1 when the right time of cycle occurs? Yes, I do. Do I think it has the possibility to trade much higher than that? I do. But the founder, Charles, was like, listen, Bitcoin's better now. All right, y'all. I'll see you all tomorrow. We'll be back at the normal time. I'll make sure that I have my times in sync, and we'll continue at it. Thanks for being here. Thanks for the good mood. Thanks for helping keep us on the right side across markets. Have a beautiful day, everyone. Everything's messed up. I wanted to look at the Nasdaq with you. Have a beautiful day, everyone. God bless you.